Rise and Shine Garage Doors is a premium garage door service company servicing the Twin Cities area of Minnesota, including outer state Minnesota and western Wisconsin from St. Cloud all the way down to Rochester, Minnesota. We pride ourselves on providing the best customer service in all garage door repairs. We take great pride in having a premium service for all of our customers. Rise of the Rooster podcast is here to help you improve your relationship that you have with the largest mechanical moving object in your home. Now here's your host, Logan Greene, with the Rise of the Rooster podcast. We are clucking good at what we do. Hey there, I'm your host, Logan Greene, and today I have Blake Hathaway with us. He's one of our technicians working out of the Rochester area. Thank you for coming up here on a fairly snowy day. I know it was a little sketchy getting up here, but thank you for coming up, Blake.
Yeah, we love the Minnesota weather.
Yeah, how you liking working down in the Rochester area?
Yeah, it's great. We see all kinds of fun things.
Yeah,
sure. Just like the European cities.
Absolutely. I know we've recently, just within the last year, really grown our market down there, and I know it's been really successful and really exciting to be down there. But I just wanted to thank you for coming in for this. One of the big reasons I wanted to make sure you were on this episode today was because you are one of our best garage door sales technicians. And so you've been doing a really great job meeting with customers, finding out what they need for a new garage door, and then working out a deal to get it done for them. And so that's a big reason I wanted to make sure you were on this episode specifically. Because today we're kind of talking about new garage door sales, and we're going into what we call garage door season. I mean, the spring market for us is very much garage door season. But how do you feel about going into garage door season? What's something that you're looking forward to?
Door sales in general, like you said, it is garage door season. So, I mean, people are looking to upgrade the smile of their home.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm most looking forward to in terms of buyers. People are really looking for three different kinds of things, either function, utility, or economic savings. The function would just be having a functioning garage door. Some people are just looking for something basic. Some people want the utility savings from having an insulated garage door, and some people really are looking for that high return on investment and the curb appeal.
I'm glad that you brought up return on investment, because a lot of people don't know that you get your highest return on investment when you do replace your garage door. And I used to be a realtor. A lot of people know I used to be in the real estate market. And when I would go to a buyer consultation, people would be like, or a seller's consultation, excuse me. And they'd be like, oh, well, we were going to redo the kitchen or update our bathroom. And we did all these things, and that should add a lot more value to our home, right? And the reality is it doesn't. The biggest thing that actually adds value to your home would be your replacing your garage door, replacing that curb appeal. When people are walking up to a home doing a tour of a home, first thing they look at is the garage door. That was done in the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West Coast. There's a study done, and that's the first thing that they are looking at. So that's a huge point of contention when you're looking to sell your home, and that's a big reason why you get that return on investment. Statistically, the highest return is typically a 93.8% return on that investment. When you compare that to a kitchen remodel, which would be something like 72.2% return on investment, or even a roof remodel coming at 60.7 return on investment. So very, very big difference when you're looking at your garage doors. To put that in real numbers, if you spend $4,000 on a garage door, you're looking at 93.8% investment or return on investment. That would be $3,752 that you could have on the sale of your home,
Which is, I mean, incredible rent.
Yeah, absolutely, incredible percentages, and that's going to make a big difference is what you actually put into your home. So there's a couple things I kind of wanted to bring up about garage doors I think a lot of people don't think about. First one would obviously be insulation.
Sure.
I mean, what kind of jumps out to you when you're walking up to a home and you're looking at the house is attached, there might be rooms there that are above the garage. What are you thinking about when you're talking about insulation with that customer?
You know, it's crazy. I'll walk in and that some people, it'll be completely insulated. They'll even have a heater, and their garage is completely uninsulated. And I mean, if you think about it, that is it's essentially a wall that is not insulated. So you're losing all of that heat coming out of there. And we have a couple of different insulation options there, starting from about a 6R value is roughly a start point there, going up to a 9, which is more standard for Minnesota, where you're going to get a big chunk of your utility bills actually, or a noticeable chunk of your utility bills dropping off on that 9R value, but if our value is a priority, then we can go certainly higher than that.
And to point out, we have other vendors that we work with that have like 17 or even 19
right
R
or
value.
21 depending on the game.
Depending on what kind of door it is. And the biggest thing I think a lot of people don't realize, if you have to have the good weather seal on there too, otherwise the air is just going to travel through the side. But there's a lot of really good quality R value doors out there. I once had a door that I went out to go talk to that customer, and it was a big, beautiful house, and there were rooms right above the garage. Now the garage was insulated itself, but they had a very thinly insulated garage door. And I had talked to them. I was like, "Whose bedrooms are up there?" And she had told me that one of her daughter's bedroom is up there. And I'm like, "Do you have an issue with that door always being cold?" And she's like, "Yeah, actually we do." I'm like, "Okay, well there's a big thing right here that's actually letting a lot of that cold air in." So if I was able to put together an insulated door that might be a little bit more than what you're expecting previously, but it's going to make your daughter's room a lot warmer in the winter, a lot cooler in the summer, would that be something that's interesting to you? She said, "Yes, absolutely." I was solving a problem that was inside the home that she didn't even think about, because that's something that we look at. That garage door insulation has a huge effect on the rest of the home for sure.
Right. And well, you also mentioned the weather seal. I mean, if that's not proper on a proper install, it also leads to rusting, which is a huge problem here in Minnesota with the weather, or with the moisture and the salt that we deal with. Yeah. So we can also get ahead of all of that and powder coat and do stainless steel options as well, so that we can stay on top of the rust before it's even an issue.
For sure. That brings up my idea about function, about what we can do to really improve the function of a door. Of course, insulated, non-insulated, there's a lot of parts that are going to be the same that help move the door itself.
Right.
And what are some things that you offer to customers to really help improve the function of a door?
Well, I'd hate to see somebody spend a lot of money on a really well-insulated door, and like I said, a couple years down the line, the salt and the corrosion just eat away at it. So the things that we can do are protection from the salt and corrosion, as well as protection for the motor, because with that heavier door with a nice insulation, it can put a lot of stress and strain on that motor. So staying on top of things like the rollers, we have roller upgrades that'll make the door good for life, and that will take a lot of that stress off the motor and just lead to better operation of the door over time.
Cool. Well, cool. I always love talking about precision bearing rollers when I'm selling doors, and then of course the high cycle springs. That's one that I talk about a lot too. Standard cycle spring is about 15,000 cycles. We offer a 10-year parts and labor warranty spring, which is 30,000 cycles. It's going to give you a whole lot more time and life out of that spring when you put that new door in. Right. And then of course our Never Rust kit, and then we talked about in the first episode was powder coating everything, all the hinges, the tracks, the verticals, the horizontals, the shaft, everything getting powder coated. That's going to help protect everything from rust and corrosion.
Yeah, not only is that aesthetically pleasing, I mean, it just guarantees the life of it. It just protects your investment.
Absolutely. And are you seeing a lot of customers that are being really excited about those types of options for customers?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything to increase the length of your investment. Like you said, you get like a 93% return on it. Well, if you can get that same return 10 years down the line, that's huge.
Absolutely. I also just like how we call it our Lamborghini package, where we powder coat everything. It just looks really cool. That is a cool looking door.
It's clean.
It looks really great, especially on a white backdrop, and then just the black powder coated hardware just pops. Yeah. So it's a really, really good looking door. I also you had mentioned the opener itself a little bit, and I think a lot of people will think, oh well, I just I have an opener in there and it's working just fine. But do people know that you might need a stronger opener if you're putting a certain type of door in there?
Yeah, absolutely. That's not something that people think about. They're like, oh, it's a motor, it goes up and down. Well, yeah, when you're increasing that insulation, I mean, you go from a door that weighs 160 pounds to a door that weighs 500 plus pretty easily. And as you can imagine, getting a 500 plus pound door to start moving is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, thinking about maybe going from a half horsepower traditional residential motor to something more powerful that would suit that is something that I always like to bring up.
Yeah.
Because the motor really only lives as long, or works as well as the door does, so they work in.
For sure. I even think about when I was selling homes, I had a woman who she did not care if there was a washer or dryer in the homes that we were looking at, because the first thing she was going to do when she moved in was actually replace those. And I was a little curious as to why, and she had read an article a couple of years ago that had said that there's X amount of fecal matter in washers and dryers from people washing their underwear in the washing machine. And so she's like, when we move in, we're going to replace these, so because I don't want my clothes going into a washer that has other people's fecal matter in it. It's an interesting situation. But when she moved into that home, the first thing she did was the washer and dryer. But then I found out that she had also replaced the refrigerator, the dishwasher, a couple of other appliances, including the garage door opener. And a lot of times when people are moving in, just because they have an opener that works doesn't mean they don't want a backup battery, an integrated camera, LED lights that are going to be really bright and brighten up that garage. So there's other features to an opener beyond just being strong enough to lift the door that can be really, really important to a customer.
Yeah, absolutely. And having the
having the versatility to be able to put those other ones in there is really important for sure.
Right.
Yeah, and having a lot of options I think is really important, as well as like our jack shaft opener. That's something a lot of people don't even think about, where that could technically one of the most secure openers that we have, because it has that lock that we can put on there too.
Right.
But that's something that, especially when you have somebody go out to your home to look at a new door, that's something that should absolutely be coming up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of the times when we're going to these places as well, realtors will point out the fact that they're not even up to code. I mean, a lot of these things are so out of date.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a second thought, but I show up and I'm like, I can't believe you're not looking at this thing.
Yeah. It's interesting when I'll talk to some old realtor friends of mine. They'll call me up and ask me hey, what am I supposed to be looking at for a garage door? And I'll tell them, and they're like, yeah, I've never knew you were supposed to lubricate the door. Never knew I was supposed to do this or do that. And then they're looking at an investment that they possibly weren't expecting, but it's something that they could have negotiated in that sale in the first place. Right. So very interesting situation with a lot of house sales and everything too. I'm happy to not be in real estate anymore, but I definitely learned a lot, and it still correlates to this business as well. And I think a lot of times when we're looking at homes, and when people are looking at homes, they really are drawn in with either a really, really good design or really, really consistent design. I think our best-selling door is a standard white raised panel door.
Yep.
Everybody and their mother has one or has seen one.
Yep.
If you don't have one, I'm pretty sure your neighbor does. There was one cul-de-sac I did work in before that we did sell a door for, that it seemed like it was a competition between each house who was going to have the coolest garage door. And so we had worked on garage doors that were very, very expensive, just to make sure that they could compete with the neighbors there. But when we think about design, a lot of people are sometimes not even aware of different design options we have. But what are some of the design options that you tend to see out in the field when you're selling doors?
Well, when looking at design, people are generally trying to make if they're really looking at design, they're trying to make a change generally from an older style to a more modern or postmodern look. Mm-hmm. So in that case, we do offer designs that would have mosaic doors or mosaic windows. So you could have windows running down the side. You could have windows in any kind of pattern that you want, really. Mm-hmm. So that in and of itself, just having those windows in different spots and different patterns with different overlays really makes the exterior of the home jump from an older style looking home to the modern or postmodern style.
Absolutely. I know I've talked about this door that I worked on a while ago. Sometime this summer I was talking to the customer, and she had a black wood door, or a masonite wood door, so it was flush, and it was really ugly and needed to be replaced. It was well past its expected lifespan. And the customer's like, well, I want a new door, and I want black flush, and I want windows on the top. I was like, perfect, yeah, I can put that together for you. And I put together some options with some upgrade options there too. And when I went to go knock on the front door, I noticed her front door was another black flush door with windows that went down like this, and they're kind of thin. And I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, I could design a door that would actually work with that front door really, really well. And so I went back, I put together some pricing for it, and I gave her an option that was quite a bit more expensive, but it worked with that front door a lot better, where it was black flush, and then on the side where the closest to the door, it was window, 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 all the way down. So it really reflected what was going on in the front door. Now she's like, wow, I really like that design. And I was like, yeah, this will work with the facade of your house and everything. She's like, well, her only question was, can you make sure the windows are frosted instead of clear? I said, yeah, absolutely. And she's like, all right, let's get it done. Just put it up. She gave me a card. She's like, well, write it up. I want that door. Because we came in with the design that she never even knew existed, we were able to get an option that looked a lot better with the home.
And the great thing is with that too is you were able to get on site and take a picture and then show her, hey, this is the door. This is what we're going to be able to do. That this is how it ties into your front door. This is how it ties into your siding. This is how it all pulls it together. And we can actually turn it around and show you before you even make a decision to buy it. Hey, this is how it's going to look.
I really love when we're able to take a picture of the home itself and then superimpose picture, the picture of the new garage door onto the home.
Exactly.
So you can really see what it looks like. We have a couple door builders through Amar, through Haas, and even North Central, that we can do that. And it's a big step in the right direction of providing good quality service, which is something we take a lot of pride in doing, for sure.
Right.
What are some other things that you look at when you're talking about design for a garage door?
For design at that point, then it comes down to, panel style or windows. And traditionally, panel style comes down to either short or long panels, or if you wanted to go flush, which all can change the look and feel of things. There are also wood overlays if you wanted to go more traditional.
Do you see a lot of doors that are being sold with a wood print or a wood pattern?
Yes, and there are kind of two ways of thinking on that. Some people are okay with kind of the faux print, kind of going one way, but we do have manufacturers that do it both ways, making it look more realistic. Sure. But we also see a lot of people doing wood overlay as well.
Sorry about that. We just had to cut real quick. I'm recording this on my phone, and I got a phone call, so I just had to take a second there. But we are back. We'll edit this out in post for sure. Yeah. That's there. I know there's a lot of different faux wood kind of styles of paint out there. What I always caution people on is the pattern repeating, and I think we have a really great manufacturer that we work with that makes sure it doesn't look weird that way, where they're bi-directional paint, so the paint will have the wood grain go up and down, and it'll change it up a little bit so that it doesn't look really weird.
It looks natural as opposed to printed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a much better wood kind of look from there. But that's something that we also look into. And then HOA guidelines. I just want to point out, we'll get some people that'll be like, oh, well, I have to get it approved by my HOA.
I love HOAs. They make my job super easy.
You don't need to get it approved by your HOA most of the time. There's a small portion of HOAs that you do have to get approval for. Typically, those are ones that have different artisan designs. That's where something's going, where they... the houses are separated, but they want a specific type of look. More often than not, as long as you're not getting the neon orange panel, you're fine. You'll be okay. If you have a standard white raised panel door and all your neighbors have standard white raised panel doors in your HOA, you'll be fine. It's okay. We can deal with that. We work with HOAs every single day. Not once have we ever been contacted by an HOA saying that we put in the wrong door. or that we put in a door that doesn't meet their standards.
You know, sometimes people think that just because they're in an HOA, that they have to get the exact same kind of a door. And I've found that, just like you're saying, there are upgrades in there as well. Like you can insulate your door. If you're worried about efficiency, you can do that. And your HOA is not going to come down on
Yeah. HOA just cares about the front facade, the front look. They don't care what's happening beyond that. I will also say, because sometimes people will be like, oh, well, I think my HOA is going to take care of my opener. No, they're not. They're not. Or we've worked with enough of them to know dang well HOA is not paying for that opener. That is something that does typically go to the homeowner itself. But that still leaves a lot of freedom for you to be able to get what you want, to get what you need, and not be restricted by anything else. You're already restricted enough by what the look is. Maybe you can have windows, maybe you can't. But then after that, I mean, it's all up to you. It's a playground. We can have this Never Rust kit to make sure you don't have any rust. You can put the Polar Seal on there. We can have the super insulated garage door. We can put in a security opener that has an integrated camera and backup battery. So if the power goes out, you actually can still open your door. And if somebody's trying to break in, you have a security camera showing you exactly what's going on. So those are very, very important features that you can have onto your door.
And this is all value that you will get back on the future.
When you sell your home, this is something that you're going to get that return. Right. Rise and Shine garage doors is not the cheapest. Rise and Shine garage doors are not planning on ever being the cheapest. What are some things that stand out to a lot of customers when they do decide to purchase our door rather than somebody else's that's clearly going to be cheaper?
Well, so the first thing I tell all of my customers is you don't need a license to do what we do, which puts us in an interesting situation because there's a lot of people that will come in and do it for very cheap. We do have, I believe it is now 6 master certified technicians. It might be a few fewer than that.
We have 4, but we have 6. 2 other people that are going this summer. So
somewhere in that number, but and a in-house training facility, as far as I'm aware, it's the only one that is in Minnesota.
In the Twin Cities, yep. Right now we're the only ones with that in-house training facility.
And they're all trained by master certified technicians before they're even allowed to step foot into a customer's house for, on-the-job training.
Absolutely, and that has a lot of value to the customers themselves. One door that we recently got the sale for is I was talking to a customer, and she had initially told my guy to essentially get off her lawn, that we were way too expensive and she has no interest in moving forward with us. And I had reached out to her. I said, hey, thank you for the opportunity to win your business. We hope we were able to provide good quality service. That's something we take a lot of pride in. But let me know if you have any other questions. And she sent me an email the next day saying, I know you are more expensive, but I see the value, and we actually decided we wanted to move forward with you. And so I followed up with her a little bit more. I was like, okay, well, where did you see that value? And excuse me, holy smokes, I'm just getting all phlegmy. But I asked him, like, where did you see that value? She's like, first off was the options. We give 6 options. We have 2 premium, 2 mid-range, and 2 economy options there. And they were a lot more than she was initially expecting on spending, which is okay. That's fine. We talked a little bit more, and she said that we had a better quality door than what other companies were offering. We use a great manufacturer. It's a really, really good quality manufacturer that they can get their stuff on time. They just don't have a lot of issues. We don't have a lot of issues coming back from the manufacturer or anything like that.
It's a thicker gauge steel than what you'll find at Home Depot.
Yep, they're nice and thick, well-made hardware. And that's all stuff that was important to this customer. And then not to mention, she's like, Joe was amazing. Joe was the technician that was there. She was like, he was very patient. He was kind. He asked us a lot of questions. He answered all of our questions, and he built value. So Joe himself was part of the value that the customer saw, and that was so important, and why she decided to not go with a cheaper solution, even knowing full well that we were going to be more expensive. And we came to a really great agreement at that time.
And we take a lot of pride in all of that as well. I mean, even if I'm not selling a job, even if it's, I'm showing up and I'm literally walking away with just giving them information, it might take me 2 hours because we are spending that time. Yeah. We are getting to know them. We are building that value, like you said. It's important to us.
Absolutely. The one other thing I do want to point out is we have a 5-year parts and labor warranty on all of our doors. I've seen some of our competitors say they have a lifetime warranty. This was really interesting. Two of us pulled up to the house at the same time, and I was like, hey, you go first. So I wanted to hear what he had to say. Went up there, took a measurement across, measurement up. He's like, well, here's the door options that we have. Here are some of our prices. We have a lifetime warranty on our door. Give us a call. He left. Seriously, 15 minutes. He was there for 15 minutes. I was there for at least 40 minutes before I even talked to the customer. And I had asked them, I was like, I heard the conversation. I was like, so what kind of warranty did they offer? And she said, oh, they said lifetime. I was like, well, that's really interesting because I have that same warranty. Did he tell you what that warranty was on? He's like, well, it was on the door. I was like, unfortunately, it's not. The lifetime warranty is just on the front facade, the paint. If the paint bubbles, that's it. That's the only thing that has a lifetime warranty on, because that lifetime warranty is from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
So we do our own warranty. It's a 5-year parts and labor warranty. There are some other companies that do have a parts and labor warranty, but it's only for 1 year, maybe 2 years tops. I just was looking at another one of our competitors' invoices recently. But that's something that definitely sets us apart. And then we also have those additional upgrade options too, where you can take that warranty, you can make it longer. You can make it a 10-year parts and labor warranty. We're gonna upgrade your parts, we're gonna put better quality parts in there, and then we're gonna back it up for longer. And that's something that not everybody else is offering.
Oh, right.
Is there anything else that you've noticed being one of our premier sales guys, our door sales guys, that you definitely want to make sure people are aware of when they're thinking about getting a new door?
So again, coming back to a higher investment, higher price and all of that, I come across a lot of improperly installed garage doors. I mean, I would hate to see somebody spend a lot of money on a garage door with all the insulation and then have it improperly installed, have gaps everywhere, have all that cold air come in, and not be worth anything. I mean, if it's not properly installed by somebody that knows what they're doing and cares about their job, it's a waste of money.
Yeah, that's something I think we do a really good job of here at Rise and Shine, where we train them consistently, we make them do it right, and they have the support. So I mean, I know there's other guys that are one-man shows. If they're getting their butt handed to them by a door and they don't have the resources right then and there, they're just gonna leave it. On one of the other forums that I'm on Facebook, that talks to a bunch of other garage door technicians, there's been a couple of them where this other professional is going out to fix the job of another professional because they gave up. They just gave up. I just looked at 2 of them yesterday.
Right.
And so that's something that should be important to a lot of customers, to making sure you're getting somebody in there that knows what they're doing, that likes what they do, gets paid well, and then puts in a good quality door for you and follows up with good quality service and everything too. But anything else you want to say before we wrap this up, Blake?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't agree more. So thank you for coming in today, Blake. I'm going to let you go, but appreciate all your hard work, and you should be really proud of yourself with all the success you've had this year so far, and looking forward to see where you go in the years to come.
Appreciate you.
Good deal. Thank you very much.
Yep.